Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sabado Session podcast. And today we are with Karlina in one of our Sheffield series episode. How are you doing, Karlina?
I'm doing good. It's morning here, so good morning, guys.
Good morning, good morning.
Cool. Straight to it. Sheffield 2023. Let's talk about 2023, right? I'm not going to talk
Oh,
about world because you took the pace in Malta, right? So let's not talk about it. Let's go Sheffield 2023. How was your experience from Sheffield 2023? I'm not going to talk about how you qualify on that because a lot of people have got a question mark. Let me just talk about Sheffield itself. Your experience.
okay.
How did you manage to contain yourself on that platform?
2023. It feels like not that long ago. Like it's pretty crazy to think that in 5 weeks I'm flying to the next Sheffield, but it feels like the last Sheffield was only like just a few months ago. But it was incredible. It was just the whole experience was like nothing I could have ever imagined. You spend years in this sport, paying for things, losing money for the love of the sport, and then all of a sudden there's this huge Sheffield event where you get flown out and everything's taken care of and you're treated like a professional athlete. They treated us so well, and the whole experience from arriving in Sheffield to meeting everybody, all the athletes, all the SBD staff that you've been emailing. It was just so amazing, and I was like, just felt like a dream, honestly.
So you spoke about experience there. One of the questions I've been asking everybody when they come into this podcast is, did you get to use the Range Rover?
What?
How did you
What
get
Range
from the
Rover?
from the did you go did you catch a train I know. there? Did
Oh,
you have a
I know.
car? How
Yeah. So mine was a little bit different because I wanted to go really early. I think I went even like a day earlier than Evie, and I stayed with Joy. Me and Jill stayed with Joy for 3 days. So we kind of had to organize our own way to get there, and because we did some sightseeing. So we went to York and then we went on to Sheffield. So we just organized our own thing and didn't even like bother asking for any transport.
did you ride shotgun in Bob's
Yeah.
truck or were you on the back?
Did he? I thought he walked.
There you go.
There
There it
we
is.
go. So the reason I asked about the Range Rover because our friend Mo decided to walk because he always walk everywhere he goes. That's why he walked from fucking Newcastle to Malta. No, that was a long walk. But
I still
anyway,
remember that. He had a
Yeah.
vlog. Didn't he have a vlog? He was like, this is part one of
Yeah.
the vlog. Look at me
yeah.
walking, and then he didn't post on YouTube for 6 months because he dropped 391, but we'll move on from that.
It's taken
No,
three
I
days.
saw him. He walked into the hotel all like sweaty with his bag, and we're like, "Where'd you just come from?"
That's what Mo does. He just walks places. He think he walked to London today.
I think, I mean,
Out of the way as well, and it took him 3 days. It's
To Malta, yeah, it did. It took him 3 full days
took
to
him
get to Malta.
3 days. Yeah.
That's longer than it took me.
Yeah,
Unnecessary.
yeah, it
No,
took 3 full days
unnecessary.
to get to Malta.
yeah,
I think he swam.
more need a reality check. Let's move
Just
on.
Mo on a
So,
dinghy with his little fucking
so talking
passport.
about, I mean, you spoke about experience. The reason I mentioned the Range Rover again is because there was a Range Rover that was picking up athletes from like I think the station to the hotel. So again, as you mentioned, these are the things like in powerlifting is almost like unheard of to hear like
Oh,
there is a bloody Range Rover Sport picking up people from a fucking train station to the hotel. You know
wow.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So almost you feel like almost like you are in like in football or MMA or something. That's again.
Yeah.
I mean, me it's just like I saw from the far from the side, but you guys that were in that bubble, I'm sure the experience was even different. You know what I mean? From the when you arrived to
Mm,
the hotel to the competition itself. I think I just want
mm,
to drill down on the competition because different athletes they had different experience in terms of like the experience on that platform. Can you talk me
yeah.
through about your experience? I know you touch on this on a lot of podcasts across the board, but it's just like your true feelings when
Mm,
you stepped on that platform for the first time. What was the
yeah.
first thing that came out of your mind?
Yeah. Well, it's even well, you when you first step out, you're just like lost in the sea of people and sound. And so it was pretty insane. And the only way I could handle it was really to block it out. I don't know what I would have done if I had allowed that to be taken in, like a lot of the other athletes did. So I took the boring route and just blocked it out, but used it when I needed to. But it started even before you stepped out on the platform, like where we were waiting. The walls were like literally vibrating, so you could tell you're about to walk into something crazy. Yeah.
But in terms of like again, you mentioned about wood vibrating and blocking and all of that. I mean, again, from an spectator point of view, is to us, Sheffield is not a competition; it's a show, right? So, as an athlete, right, as a top tier athlete, how do you prepare your mindset into going to a show? Because the difference between going to World and going to Sheffield is a two different ball game. Right, World, you're going to compete to win a world championship again to the 76. Right?
Yeah.
Sheffield, you're going to put a show and make sure your show and your performance is better than everybody else. So how do you prepare yourself to that?
Well, none of us had done it before, so it was kind of like just a wing it. But the way that Dom and I approached it was just don't be conservative at all. Go for every single kilo plus a little bit more, if even possible, because I blew up the world record. So I don't have any type of luxury to not do that. It's not like I'm going into it this time thinking, oh, I can't wait to, the record's so low, I can't wait to blow it up. Like, no, I already did that a year ago. It's already 600. And so now we're going into it expecting to push it even further. But, and again, we're just not going to be conservative about things because it is a show and there's a lot of money. And unfortunately, 600 is that's what it takes, is just blow shit up.
Yeah, I mean, again,
do you regret hitting 600 then?
Yeah, no, I don't. I know it's mine. And I know that it's one of the higher ones, or one of the highest percentage ones to try and beat. So that's fine. It just means I have to get strong as fuck.
But again, right? I mean, as I mentioned at the beginning, I didn't want to take the talk about the past in terms of the way you qualified to Sheffield. But at that moment, because the conversation when it was going on around, I don't want to go back to that because it's history now. It's for people to know, to go and search these things, not us. But you had to get it to 600. Almost, it was like, okay, because I'm not being rated as one of the best 76 in the world, and people have got their opinion. Some people saying she has not traveled before, she hasn't done this before. So let me just go and do something bonkers just to shut everybody up. I'm sure that was the intent at that Commonwealth. Was it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a different translation, but it's all the same.
I have my way to translate things better than other people, so that's
Yeah.
I mean, again, you've done Sheffield. You had an amazing performance in terms of like, yes, I know as an athlete you wanted to get a 600 or do even more, but you came in, you did not bomber. I did bomber in 2016, but you didn't bomber. Do you know what I mean? So that was almost after 36 hours of flying or something like that. You come in at Sheffield, you walk away with a check, and I'm sure Dom gave you a few blocks for free because, come on, the check Dom got that piss is big. But anyway, moving on that. So Espin is looking. You want to ask how much did you give Dom? I can see that Espin.
I wasn't gonna say that. I really wasn't.
I'd never. You know what? That's one question I don't think I'd ever ask.
See, I wasn't gonna ask that. Why? I was just gonna say, right, after Sheffield.
Why?
Right?
Yeah, why not?
I just think people's finances are people's finances, like what they plan. Do you know what I mean? That aspect of it. Whereas Durin's, he likes to know everyone's business.
No. He's throwing that to me, Karlina. Basically, as a top tier athlete, there's a conversation been going on across the board, right? Especially in powerlifting. This is starting from the American. If they're gonna crucify for me on this one, I don't give a fuck. This is starting from them. They were talking about, giving percentage to hard days, game days, and giving percentage to your coaches and things like that. So people are Well, I can talk about people like Espin that's never won anything in powerlifting, doesn't really know that. Right? So people like yourself have already won a couple checks. Is it a common thing to share with your coach or your game day handler?
Well, for me, it is ever since I started, and he is my coach and game day handler, so it makes it a bit easy for me to do that. There's nobody else in my team I need to worry about or split things through. But I do think like at the beginning of our sport with earning money, it's so new that we should talk about it more because nobody knows what to do with the money and it makes it awkward. And the more that if people share a little bit, then people start to get kind of an idea of maybe what they want to do or should be doing. But like I was Googling what does a tennis player give their coach from their purse. I was trying to figure it out on my own. But I wanted to do that because that's the other part of my success.
Yeah. So it's all about the percentages as well in terms of like what you're giving people. All I always say, like, if I win a check, because I won a couple of checks in terms of like last year, the year before, I didn't give my coach 50%. He can fuck off. He didn't lift that weight of me on the platform.
So, yeah, like for example, if Mo did it, he needs to buy himself a car.
But he got the percentages that I think he deserved. Do you know what I mean? And then at the end of the day,
zero.
You know, the whole check.
You just said he can fuck off, and then you said the percentage he deserved. So I'm taking that as a 0.
Welcome. You're welcome, bro. You said it. Jesus said you're the one who said it, not me. But anyway, moving on to so you had that amazing experience of Sheffield, Karlina, in terms of last year. I'm not talking about your performance because your last score, they stole that score from you. We all saw that. So let's not talk about that because you got the second touch.
Are we allowed to say that now? I thought we're not allowed to say that.
Oh, you got muted? They stole the spot for me.
So because you got the same judge and the same referee.
Juren's has PTSD.
Yeah. Massively. But anyway,
through you.
Massively. Anyway, so we can't talk about that because you got the same judge, the same referee this year. So we don't want to talk about them, right? We love you.
Same.
We love you, Judge. But anyway, moving on from that. So how did you prepare yourself leading to Malta? Because in Malta, everybody were talking about, okay, you blew the world record, as you mentioned there, so high to 600. And then in Malta, you had the same nemesis in terms of like, you had Jess, you had Agatha coming in Malta, and the rest of the 76. And you not being a world in your life before, it almost like the same time, the same story comes out again, where people think like, okay, yes, that was Sheffield, that was a show, you know, that was pushing. But this is the world championship. It's not just the 3 of them. There is the rest of the 76. But Karlina has never faced these people before. Do you know what I mean? How would Karlina hold herself against everybody else? So I just want to pick your brain in terms of like, how did you prepare yourself from Sheffield being a show and pushing, as you said, no boundary, pushing, leading to Malta? Or did you do an easy or just saying like, I'm just going to walk through and say, hi, because I'm best. Anyway.
No. Well, after being quite disappointed after Sheffield and like not having that 232 squat, it was quite fresh in my brain, like that I had to do the same thing. Like I had to go for the 232. Like I'm not going to be happy if I don't have even like just that attempt. But Sheffield also humbled me because I was extremely sort of physically broken. So when I got off the plane, like even just walking was painful with back pain, and I never got to the bottom of it, but it was improving over like 6 weeks. And so by 4 weeks out from Worlds, I was able to like finally do my deadlift program. And so that humbled me and changed my mentality completely. What I learned from Sheffield is that from that performance, our bad days are all different, and my bad day is still a really high total. And theirs is, it drops quite a bit. So I knew that I just have to maintain. All I need to do is keep the strength that I have right now, and I know that's going to be strong enough to win against all of them. And so it was a mental game, like a huge mental game. Trying to convince myself and remind myself that I just have to keep strong. I don't need to make any gains. I don't need to squat 232 and attempt that at Worlds. I just need to do what I need to do to win. And that's the plan that ended up happening. And it was perfect. It went perfectly.
Do you strive off that competition then? Are you one of them people who likes to know what your competition's doing and have that, like, I'm going to go in to beat this person? Or are you sort of, I'm doing my own game, I'm going to go after X numbers and fuck the rest?
Yeah. It's been weird coming in the last year and actually having competition. So I like to know where their capabilities might be, but I don't like to watch too much else. And if I know a ballpark, then I know I'm safe because that's what it usually means.
I mean, again, right? I mean, to me, the question I had in terms of like, of course, everything you talk about, the mindset change, you spoke about injuries there, because sometimes, especially to the people that are listening to us, they just see us lifting weight, right? Today, I think I did post a post when IPF posted that Indie one day deadlift of the year and all of that. I said,
oh, congrats.
Thank you.
People only see the bar being loaded, Indie making a deadlift bar flies, but the things behind that, only people are close like us that know what Indie went through to be able to pull 395.5. Do you know what I mean? But people wouldn't see that. You know what I mean? But and again, you speak about injury days, I'm thinking like, so how, knowing that 6 weeks you were battered, you couldn't do anything, but again, you're going against Jess and Agatha. You know these ladies are capable of some of this incredible stuff we ever seen in powerlifting. So how did that mindset of you just change, or let's say get stronger, knowing I'm gonna go there and win, regardless?
Yeah, like it definitely wasn't easy. And as humans, we always have sort of moments of weakness where we might think, oh shit, can I really do this? Could something go wrong? But you don't stick in it too long. And it's really just this developing sort of like an unshakable belief in yourself. This belief that it's me, I'm going to win, I'm the strongest. Even on my worst day, I'm the strongest. And just literally telling yourself that. Sometimes I'll tell myself that in the mirror.
Yeah, but you actually were the strongest. There's some people out there that come forth and they go, yo, I'm the strongest. Do you know what I mean? So it's a different mentality as well.
Six anyway. I mean, let me
you
reverse
keep
that.
that mentality, Jones. You keep that mentality. It will work out one day.
One day.
Thank you.
I heard USAPL England hiring.
Actually, Sheffield participant. Thank you very much, Karlina. I agree. Reversing that question I asked Karlina, probably I'm going to ask this question to you, Indy, because you are a world record holder as well in terms of like in your deadlift. So Karlina mentioned about the injuries. You leading to that championship that just happened at Euros, you had a few issues, right? That I know, and everyone that close to you know. So how did you prepare yourself mentally, knowing, okay, I had these issues. Literally, these issues only came in the last few weeks of the prep. Anyone
to a point, but like I've been dealing with that back injury for what, 2 years now, a year and a half. It's weird because it just like, so I remember having this conversation. I saw it on a meme actually, and it's like, oh, the pain's normal. It's like 3 out of 10, so it's normal. And the doctor's like, the pain's meant to be 0. Like you can't like normalize pain. But the problem is with the calendar being the way it is, you sort of just have to grit your teeth and get through. Like you can't think too much about it, because the more you think about it, the more I think it affects the way you're going to lift. And I know that's not sensible for a lot of people. Like if you're injured, get it checked out, make sure everything's good and everything's fine. But like you get to a point in your lifting career or whatever you want to call it, where sometimes you just got to be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I think that's my mentality going into it. It's just like, fuck it.
Yeah. I think there's always, especially as a high level powerlifter, there's always pain. Like there's never no pain. And if you have someone helping you or guiding you, like I'm a doctor, so I know a lot about what's pain and when I should go and get help. But if you have a physio helping you, like I also have a physio, and so she likes to get pain to zero, but she also understands that some pain is okay. Whereas in my mind, I'm like, I'm 5, 6 weeks away from competition. I'm all good to be in pain. I just don't want it to stop me from lifting well. Like, we can do this. We can continue pushing.
So, a quick question here. In order to get like Indy, for example, his pain to zero, would that basically mean that he would have to stop completely for a certain amount of time? Or because obviously he's been training for a year and a half, 2 years, right? For it, and it's a 3 out of 10. But like you said, it has to get, ideally it should be a zero. Is there any point where ideally it should be a zero, so it means that he'll have to stop training for a bit? Or how could he overcome that?
Oh, it's so hard to, yeah, in general, with the pain that's lasted that long, I would think it's just training to the point of minimal discomfort. I don't think stopping something ever or almost ever is the answer to it, but doing it to a point of very minimal discomfort. Again, like, you're going to have some pain, but you still need that stimulus.
So as a doctor, you mentioned there, right? What would you? I mean, I know this is not a health check or health, but what advice would you give? Because younger lifters are there, right? There's a lot of younger lifters out there are pushing their body so and they're breaking too soon, and the talent is just disappearing. Right? That's how we always said going from junior to senior is almost like the difference is just a fucking too huge because people can't handle injuries. So as a doctor, what advice would you give to these younger people training through injuries, training through pains?
Gosh, it's so hard when you're young because they feel invincible as well. Like, they can't see anything past tomorrow. And so it's hard for them to decide that, is this pain worth doing what I'm doing right now for this 10-year career? So that makes it difficult. But I think a lot of it doesn't have to do anything with a doctor. It has to do with having a good coach who can help you identify pain that is worth getting help for. And then getting that help with a physio to help you understand that type of pain. A lot of people go to their doctors for injuries, and that's where you'll get a hit and miss response, where a lot of people experience, stop that, don't do that anymore, stop the sport, go do a different sport. Like, and that's not the answer that you want to get. You're more likely to get, and it's not the answer you should get either. You're more likely to get better informed advice and better advice from a physio. So I would talk to your coach, talk to your physio, and make a plan. Yes, you can train through some pain. There are like different levels of pain that are okay to manage. But I think when you're young, like, that stuff, you don't understand that stuff because you haven't lived long enough to understand. So you need help. You need help.
Do you guys remember the good old days when, like, you could just go to a gym, put on your knee sleeves, or not even put your knee sleeves at all, just
no
go
knee sleeves.
Just squat,
Yeah.
Literally. Oh,
I can't. It's been a while. It's been a while.
And go back to back to back to back, and you're all good.
Yeah.
I still remember. So what is it? 2015, 2016, right? 2015, I think, is when I peaked. I would run 6 days a week. I would train 7 days a week, and I'd do like PT with the army 5 days a week, and I was fine. No pain, no issues. Like 10 milers, 10Ks, 5Ks, multiple times a week, like 2-3 hour long sessions, doing dumb shit. You remember 10 by 10 on squats, dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was fine. And now I'm like, I look at a barbell and my back goes, yo, bro, you really sure? Sure you want to do this?
You're talking about the same way my knees actually talk to my brain, thinking, you really want to load that bar to 270 today? Are you sure?
The thing is, you gotta learn to, like, for me, it's been a learning curve of figuring out what works. So, like, I need to walk a lot in the day, 3 times walk. I need to get sports massage once a week. I need to make sure my warm-ups are right and my mobility stuff, I'm doing it every day. Stuff like that, like, has helped me carry on competing. I think if you remove that sort of stuff, that's when because I think the first thing that people give way on is their walking or their mobility, that I don't have time, I'm just going to go train, I'm not going to go for a walk. And that for me is when, like, you start to fuck up.
I think you mentioned there, I think when I think Karlina said this, when you're young, you haven't lived long, your body hasn't experienced all that battering yet. you don't know how to respond to that. But then when you start getting into our age, in the late 20s and 30s, and then you start realizing, you're like, okay, yes, I need to listen to my body. Yes, I need to do this for my own benefits. It's not almost like being aggressive with things anymore or training. Karlina, now I'm going to move to, of course, Malta came in. Of course, you had that 6 weeks out. You were not feeling too well. And 4 weeks in, you start training again. I mean, I'm going to just ask you about Malta, right? Because Malta was a place where you had to go there and qualify for Sheffield. Unfortunately, I keep on saying this to a lot of people. I don't like the fact that the World Championship have become a qualifier to it. I hate it. I really don't like it. Because almost it's taking that privilege, is taking that integrity, the prestige out of the World Championship, right? People like me and Indy, not Espin. Me and Indy, we still because we're going there. We're not going there to qualify for Sheffield. We're going there to compete. But you guys, it's a qualifier for you guys. Do you know what I mean? So, when you went to this World Championship, did you have something in your mind thinking, okay, we're not going to push, we're just going to do what we need to do to win?
Absolutely. Like that was the whole plan, was we just need to go there, do what we need to do to get the gold. The secondary after that is getting Sheffield. But for me, that gold and that title was at the front of my mind. And of course, Sheffield comes with that.
So how did you in terms of like, you had when Agatha came in, right? With that World Championship again. She was not, although people know Agatha and Jess, of course, they are amazing athletes. They will be pushing into that win. But the gap between you and them, still some people like us and the rest, people that have a brain, they already knew Karlina is the one to beat regardless. Do you know what I mean? Did Agatha surprise you guys how close she got to you? Or was it something you guys were expecting?
I think my coach holds Agatha quite highly, very highly. Sometimes I'm like, dude, it's me. I'm your athlete. No, I'm kidding.
Dom, fix up, man. What are you doing?
And I didn't know. I didn't know that she was going to get that close. No, because she was injured at Sheffield. I didn't know what kind of shape she was in. I wasn't watching her training. There was nothing to do with her, but just because of what Sheffield looked like. And so after we got our medals and everything, and I saw the totals, that was one of my first observations was, oh my gosh, she got really close. She got really close.
It's a bench, isn't it? If she got that bench, then you would have to load a little bit more on your deadlift.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Because even as soon as we started, been there. What did I do? 245?
245,
I think. Yeah, what would I have? I don't know what I would have had to, but I would have done it. I had my family in the crowd. I would have had to. Like, there was no option for me not to.
If she got a bench, you would have needed another 2.5 kilo to beat her.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's
fine.
That's fine.
What was your top end? What do you think your top end was on the day?
I think it was probably 250, 252. Yeah.
It's more than Espin does. What did you hit in your last comp, Espin? Deadlift?
You got a sore knee.
I did 275 with one leg. It's fine.
Excuses.
Then one leg. This leg thing, Jesus Christ. You know, every disabled person there, they listening to this podcast, they'll get pissed. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on. So you went to Malta, Karlina, 593, right? Which is
that's huge.
7 kilo off the world record, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, you did get your invite to Sheffield. Before talking about the upcoming Sheffield and talking about your training leading to it, I'm going to ask you about the news that broke around Agatha dropping to 669. When that came about, what was your reaction?
They're running away. Nah, kidding.
Wait, but you're basically saying you're pushing people out?
I felt like that for a little bit, like for 5 seconds, because I know that Jess is not really gone. She's sticking around. But to go for Agatha to run away. And I say that with those questions, but what are these?
Inverted commas.
Inverted commas.
We'll edit
Running.
those videos.
Huh?
Yeah,
We'll crop this video off, right, and just like clip
go
running
straight
away.
to the
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's why Karlina says she's making everyone run away.
She's
Breaking
clearly
news.
not. She's literally going to a class that has two monsters in them. So I don't know what she'd be running away from. But she was clearly in this like similar situation to Evie, where she's finding herself a bit light, and that looks pretty appealing to try and lose weight and maintain strength, because that keeps her extremely competitive if she can do that, even if she loses a little bit. Or like stay 76 and gain like 30 kilos on your total. So like, what would you choose?
But again, that goes back to what I said in terms of like Sheffield not being a competition, being a show, because Sheffield the competition, Agatha would not drop to 69 and risk hard in that battle to the rest of the 69 kilos. But because it's a show, knowing that, as you said, she dropped to 69, go there and push and take the risk that she can take on that platform. If it works for her, she can potentially win Sheffield.
Well, maybe she's thinking like, drop to that weight, cat. The cut won't be too bad. She'll hit numbers there or thereabout, like win that portion of Sheffield, and then she can grow into the world, like Sheffield to Worlds, go back as a heavier weight. And I don't know. It's I just hate cutting weight, man. Like she said she was cutting weight, and I was like fucking dreaming of toasties. I was like, yo, bro.
No, she'll be back for sure. I feel she'll be back. I think she wants to like try and solidify herself in the 76s, and she will when I'm gone.
She looks good for it as well, though, because you got some people who cut like SBN and look like they got radiation poisoning, whereas she actually looks like she looks good for it. Do you know what I mean? Like she doesn't look
healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she'll be fine. I think. I don't think she'll have too much of a problem. Not like a stick man over here or a fucking S-bin.
Do you think she made that announcement too soon, or she should have like?
It was made for her. Remember?
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
I love the silence. So what do you, Karlina? Was it too soon?
I don't think she had a choice, because you would be able to tell, like, that she just posted a video today looking extremely shredded and not 76 at all. So I don't think she would have been able to hide it the way that Evie was able to. You can't do that at the middleweight classes. Like that type of cut makes a big difference to your physique. So she had to. We were gonna find out sooner, well before.
I mean, yeah, I look malnutritioned as fuck as a 105. So.
Oh. Yeah.
I look like
sunken in.
In India, as a 105, you looked like those soldiers that have been sent to Iraq without no food. That's how you.
I wasn't even that bad. I basically look like you when you were getting your medals at Malta. Just like
it's true. No, you mean my
your participation medal, yeah, and your white lights picture.
White media picture. Shout out to the white light boys. Thank you.
Shout out to white lights.
You made me look really strong on that platform, bastards. But,
someone did at least.
We touched on about, of course, losing weight and Agatha cutting. The question to you is, did you ever consider cutting down yourself as well? Because in terms of weight, you and Agatha, you're not a pretty tall woman. So yeah, it'd be fine to cut down. Have you ever considered cutting down?
No. Nah. I like eating a lot. But I've been there. Like I've been in that 72 class close to there, and I didn't enjoy that. And I wasn't totally in 590 600. So it's not even in my brain. Like it's not even a possibility.
But again, right? It's what I'm saying. Like I think you said this in the beginning. Because you blew that world record, again, is one of the highest world record that we IPF. You know, one of them ones like anyone that sees that world record thinking, Jesus Christ, You know, so winning Sheffield, that world record need to be blown again for you to win Sheffield. Is it not something like probably you and Dom and the team have considered thinking, okay, if we can't do it this year, let's see next year. Because a Karlina cutting to 60 or 69, I mean, again, as you mentioned, you might lose 10, 15 kilo, but still, that's an unbeatable total there.
Are you just trying to have like a 10-way battle at 69? What are you doing? It's just going to be all the females in Sheffield are going to be 69s. What's the point?
Why not? Ask your Sonita to cut down as well to 69. Why not? Let's have it. Karlina?
No, my plan is just get stronger.
So blow that 600 total.
Yeah.
See, that's the correct answer.
That would be
very so last year.
True.
I mean, Evie's done that. We need something new this year as the shock.
So you mean someone going?
I'll go 84 plus next year. No.
God, can you imagine? Do you think you could eat enough to get to 84 plus?
I will. Yeah, Italy did that.
To be fair, I could do that. I could be a 120 plus in seconds.
Karlina, if you get to 84 plus, you'll disappear.
What do you mean you'll disappear? Bro, I'm telling you now, you know how easy it is to get there. This is how easy it is. Look, number one, number two. That's how easy it is to get up to weight cut.
Karlina, how good was
I got there after World.
Karlina. How heavy were you after World?
I was, when I finally checked my weight, like a month after, I was 84.6.
Fucking hell. Yo, that's sick. 2 weight cuts up.
It's all that pasta. I'm telling you, it's all that food.
You gained more weight than Duran's gained on his total.
Go to Italy, Duran. Gain some weight. Get some total.
Duran's did. Duran's competed as a 9. See, this is why I changed my name.
Anyway, Karlina, now let's bring back a bit your training and competition leading.
Before we talk about training, though, I got a quick question. So earlier we were talking about juniors, right, going into the opens and how difficult it is that transition, right? It gets a lot harder and stuff like that. Just for our viewers, our listeners and stuff, do you want to just briefly tell us like a little, like a day in the life of you, basically, Karlina, like your day to day and what you do during the day, how, like, what time you start work, like your food timings, then what time do you train?
How amazing it is living in a beautiful country, how sad you are we're living in a place that rains all the time, you know, that sort of stuff.
Because then what we tend to see here a lot is it's kind of like a trend. I feel like we talk about this on every episode as well, right? But we just need to keep talking about it, is that a lot of people always, you know, a lot of juniors and stuff, a lot anyways, they find training very easy because obviously that's all they do, right? They can train whenever they want, they can eat whenever they want. Like life is just so easy for them. And then obviously once they get a bit older, once they start, you know, having to work and, you know, life takes over, training is almost like, right, shit, we need to kind of like, training isn't a priority anymore. It's like almost like life takes over, right? And you have to fit.
Plus you got a busy, difficult job. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you're a doctor.
I know a lot of people we've had on, they're like permanent coaches and they're in the gym and it's easy. Do you know? Easier, I should say. Like if I didn't work and I just was in a gym, like you'd make life so much easier. How do you deal with that as well?
Yeah. Well, I'm a GP. I work out in the community and I work 4 days a week. One of those days I finish early, and one of those days I literally don't work because I have to train. And so I'm lucky that I'm in a position where I can not work that day and still financially be okay. But I had to do that just so I can dedicate that whole day to getting myself like enough sleep, getting recovered from work the previous day, food prepping, physio, going to the gym, and then going back to work the next day. You know, my work days, they're anywhere between 8 to 10 hours. And some people can go to the gym after that and then go to sleep at like midnight. I cannot. I need my brain to function and not make mistakes with prescriptions the next day. So I cannot do that. It's very rigid. My life is extremely rigid, and there's not a lot that's going to disrupt that. And when I say that, it's in the most selfish way possible, because if there's like a family dinner or whatever, I'm training, so it's either early dinner, or it can't even be early dinner. It has to be a late dinner or pick a different day. So it's so rigid. It just has to be that way, and I can't move it at all. My life revolves around work and training, and everything else comes second when I'm in competition prep.
What's the latest that you've had to train, like in the evening?
I'll never allow myself to get to that point, because like I said, I have to be functioning, and the decisions I need to make at work, they have a big impact if I'm not well rested. It's the wrong prescription, the wrong diagnosis, not missing something. So I'll never train at crazy hours. I train between I leave home at 2 and I get home at 7:30. That's how long it takes me to get a session in.
Jesus.
I mean, talking about the latest, I've done the training sessions at midnight.
Yeah, never.
No, literally, I've done a training session. Literally, I started at 11 p.m. and finish at 1:30 in the morning. That literally, I finished this training session the day after, and the day after, I had another training session at 6 p.m. Do you know what I mean? So basically, what you mentioned there, Karlina, is like sometimes as we have got our life outside powerlifting, because if we want powerlifting to be incorporated in our life, we don't have that flexibility to be able to train. As you mentioned, the SBD, where some of the juniors where they can go to the gym whenever they want, or some of these full-time powerlifters or coaches, they call themselves, they can go to the gym whenever they want, they can train however they want, you know what I mean? The timing, they can literally pick a slot on the day where they prep their nutritions, they train. But people like us, I can't just say, okay, I'm going to eat at 12 o'clock because my training is at 2. No, at that 2, something might happen, and I might push my training at 7, even though I already had my carbs at 12. So basically, to just say, the life we have in powerlifting, we don't have the luxury to have that flexibility. It's not there. Just do it when you can.
I still remember doing like training at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when I used to do midnight shifts.
Oh my
7
God.
a.m. Or it's just like, it's just weird. Like, you got to get it in where you can, don't you? Like in the army, for example, I was training, Joe, I do 3 days of 24-hour days near enough, and then I'd go back and train. But there's no other choices there.
Yeah, so it's just like you have to fit it when you can. So yeah, now Karlina, moving on to the training we're talking about leading to the next Sheffield. You just did the nationals, right? 80.6 kilos, and of course you missed 260 kilo 0.5 by your own stupidity, because that weight was there. For some reason, a doctor that has a PhD just missed the last bit when she did a hard. She did everything probably me and Espin don't do, only Indy that does it. We're pulling the weight off the floor, locking the weight up, and the doctor just gave up at the end. Do you know what I mean? Can you explain? I was pissed.
It was this. This one hand.
What do you mean? What happened? What actually went wrong?
We've had words, me and this one hand. I lost it. It came out. It was completely out. Also, it looks really good on video. The lockout, my shoulders were extremely forward. So, and I was looking at the center ref, and I could see in her eyes, she was like, "I'm never gonna tell you to put it down." So I just put it down.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there's no point pushing through that if you're not gonna get that lockout.
Yeah, my shoulders were so hunched, I just could tell. I was being cheeky, holding onto it for as long as I did. I was like, "Come on, man! It's just nationals." Give it to me.
I was watching that minute live, right? Because again, as you said, on the video, it's different when you are live. Because I literally on the video, it felt to me was like at the end, you just got bored and then let it down. That's why you literally.
What do you mean you got bored, bro? She's like, that was a drill.
Because I was there, I'm thinking, I was on that screen, I'm thinking, why did she make me literally wait all this time to watch her lift live and to do that on that last deadlift? Really? Fell
Basically,
lift.
you let us down, you let
Yeah.
Sabado down, you let Durins down.
Yeah, you let SBD down. Everybody that was rooting for you that day, you let them down. So
To be fair though, there's nothing
Oh,
worse than like it just coming out your hand. It's happened to me
yeah.
at British, was it not last year, the year before, and I was like, this is never fucking happening again.
Exactly. I just saved it so that you could see it live. That's what happened. I got there and I was like, oh my God, no, they need to see it live. Dropped it.
So was it intentional for you guys to go to the national at 80.6, or was it something you couldn't be? But as you said, you love food, you couldn't be bothered to do the cup.
Oh yeah, no, just could not be bothered. And then when I saw 84, I was like, oh shit, I should be bothered and try something. So I over maybe 4 weeks or 6 weeks got down to 80. And then I've been at weight for like the last 5 weeks.
I mean, let me ask this: because again, you total 597, which is less than you've done as a 76, right? And then we're talking about 260.5. I mean, for those that are listening, basically, Karlina jumped 15.5 kilo from her second attempt. Right?
I didn't know that, did I? Wow.
So that's a 15.5, because your second was 245 and you went 260.
Oh.
Right?
See, this is the approach we're going to take at Sheffield. This kind of stuff.
That's because, again, any lifter out there, for you to jump 15.5 kilo in your last attempt, that's huge, right?
Bro, I'm team big jumps.
Yeah, of course. Are you done
Big
that?
jump. Yeah.
I am team big jumps.
You have to be indie to be able to do that. But then at the same time, indie realistically has a 400 deadlift. No excuse there, so shut up. But
yeah,
anyway.
like relatively 15 for you as a third jump or a second jump. That's ridiculous. That's some big ball move.
This is another pro of eating and not cutting down. Big jump.
I'm with you. And I'm also with you with that. You know, if you don't need to cut weight for a comp, don't do it. Just extra stress on your body. Like you and Evie, for us, we can't do that at nationals because of the way things work and how it is. Like if I went, for example, 120 plus, and I was like, yeah, well, how about 120 next year? They'd be like, no.
Oh.
Even if I weigh like what, 83.
That makes it difficult.
Even if I
weigh 83.
Even if it's by 100 grams. Like
So for us, like as in GB and stuff, like every competition matters. Like, you know, unless it's a qualifier. But then again, you can't qualify in the weight above. You can only qualify in the weight below and hit the. Do you know what I mean? So every single time you have to make weight and make sure it's there. It's a bit of a ball ache.
I mean, you guys, I think the New Zealand, the French.
I'm moving. I'm going to New Zealand. Fuck it.
The Swedish where you don't need to cut weight. You just go there and compete because they. Do
you have a 120 in New Zealand?
Okay.
Under 120?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I just don't know who they are.
That's fine. I'm moving to New Zealand. Fuck it.
The guys on the outside, they're all 120 plus. So we got lots of 120 pluses.
Yeah, I've seen your 120 pluses. You got some strong boys.
They used to be under 120 and then
they
like food too much.
Just like you. I mean, yeah. So yeah, you did that as 80.6 kilos. So you just like blew that number. I mean, 597 kilo again. That's not a number that you can give them to any day. That's a lot. That's a lot of weight. So now leading to Sheffield, what is the approach of training in terms of like, you know, you had a block leading to the Commonwealth where you took to the 600. You had a block leading to Sheffield, and you had a block leading to World, winning your first World Championship, and now leading to Sheffield now 2024. What is the approach now? Are you just trying to maintain, build, or maybe incorporating a few things in the past just to click it?
Yeah, I've loved this preparation for more than one reason. The big one being we had a lot of time. Like finally we have more than 10 weeks to prepare for a huge competition. So had a lot of time to just rest, to do a deload block, and then to start like I think 2 blocks going into Sheffield that are prep blocks. And my body feels like ready to go. There's nothing that's hurting me too much that might hinder the way that I'm training. So what we've been able to do is go back to the kinds of blocks that we did before Commonwealth and that we did before my very first competition coming back to the IPF. And those were 2 very good blocks and great competitions for me, execution wise, total wise. And so I'm feeling really good, really confident with our training, and that we're definitely pushing. Like it's not 600. That's going to be a thing of the past, and the new standard is going to be much higher than that.
Your training is looking ridiculous, though. Was it you tempo benched 120? I think it was.
Yeah, that too. Thanks.
That was nuts. Isn't your max like 25? Or...
Can you change that?
Yeah.
And Karlina tempo instead of me. She's the one.
She was meant to tempo it though. Yeah. That's the
It
difference.
was prescribed.
She was prescribed tempo. You do it just for banter.
No. Anyway.
He's trying to turn it on you. Have you seen the state of this fucker?
Anyway, I mean, Carl, you mentioned there like new standards, new training, and leading to this one that things are different in terms of like what you're prepping yourself. I'm just going to ask you this, right? What specific record, right, leading to the Sheffield that you looking to break?
Just say yes, man. Say all of them.
Everything.
4.
Everything.
Let's go.
All 4. I'm kidding. One day.
Would it be easier to ask you which one you're not trying to break?
3. Yeah, that's an easier question. I'm trying to break the bench. I'm not going to, but I'm trying. And when that happens, I don't know. It's not this year, but bench is finally in a place where it can actually progress. So like basically for the last year and a half, bench has been non-existent for me. It's just been the same bench the whole time. I haven't been able to train it well because the squat really mucked up my forearms for bench sessions. So I could never push. Now that's completely gone. I haven't had that with the help of my physio. And so bench has
what did you do to get that sorted? Sorry, I'm totally selfish here because I want to know for myself.
Yeah. So I've had it for so long, like almost 2 years. And when I started talking to Paige, she's a physio in Australia, and basically she just like everything's online. She assessed everything, and all we did really was just to work on a lot of the shoulder rotation, working on that mobility. And then it happens. It's been so good for so long. I can't even remember totally how we fixed it. But that was a big one, was making sure lats are nice and loose, improving internal and external rotation of the shoulder, and then some cues for squatting. I think it was that like I was mostly kind of extended, even though it doesn't look like it. So it was sort of like a ribs down type of cue to keep things in the right position.
Nice. Okay. And that's completely sorted you, isn't it? So now you can push everything at the same time.
Everything. And it's been so awesome. Like benches. I love bench.
But none of us can relate here, but I'm with you. I'm happy for you.
Hold on.
I'm jealous, but yeah, I'm happy.
I can bench. But anyway, leading Karlina.
You can sit on the bench.
I'm still waiting for the what specific record are you going for?
Yeah, squat, deadlift, total. We're going for all of those.
Squat, deadlift, and total. So
yeah.
Imagine being in a position to say that.
No many people can say that though.
You know what I mean? If you think about it though, I know we've had this conversation. Like that's such a joke, isn't it?
It's a joke.
We're not about world records here. Like I think you know what it is. I think you become desensitized to it all. Like having like Sheffield lifters on the podcast and stuff. But like to say I'm going for 3 world records and just say it with your chest and say it calmly. That's fucking taking a piss. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean though? Like,
Yeah.
if someone comes up to me and he's like, yeah, next year or like in like a couple of weeks' time, I'll probably, I don't know, go for 3 world records, and yeah, that'll be nice. I'll just be like, you know what, fuck you.
And then and these lifters are tested lifters.
Yeah.
They feel like they're non-tested, then tested lifters. They're talking about the records that actually will be being set, supposedly being set naturally. So you're going
What are
for
you trying to say, supposedly? Are you trying to fire shots at Karlina here?
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why are you
Why
doing
are you
inverted
doing
commas?
this?
You saw that? You see him?
Yeah.
The little
For no
fucker.
reason.
What?
Moving on. Karlina.
No,
Now I'm gonna have to post
Karlina,
all of my
I'm telling you,
negative tests.
he's a hater, Jones
changed.
is a hater.
Ever since he got absolutely ruined by Enna, he's been a completely different person.
Yeah, he's changed.
Don't know who he is anymore.
Karlina, since we're talking about it, you were outside the IPF, you came to the IPF. Did you get tested straight away?
At nationals, yeah, straight away. That was my second comp.
You guys are all the listeners. You got your answers. Many questions coming back. Oh, she came outside the IPF.
Yeah.
She tested when she came back. You heard it. She was tested. She's not like other
Yeah.
people.
Who,
I've
like
been
who?
tested like 7-8 times in the last year and a half.
Fucking hell.
You hear that?
Maybe there's
Yeah.
just someone at fucking, what is it? What's your like affiliate for WADA? Maybe someone just really enjoys having fucking bottles of your piss. Because I know someone in the UK just enjoys having bottles of Tony's piss. 100%.
He just got it stacked up in his room somewhere.
It's just like he's written Tony with just vials of his piss in his room. I know that for a fact.
Something else. So, Karlina, so this squat world record is, of course, is held by yourself. It's standing at 125.5 kilos, right? And at Sheffield, you went for, is it 232? I think you went for.
Yeah.
For the one that got stolen from you.
How much is the prize? Sorry, how much is the prize per record broken? 5K.
5.
So the dog will be rich this time. But anyway, moving on.
Remember, we're good friends, okay? Just remember that.
What do you mean, bro?
All of us.
What are you gonna do with that money anyway? You don't
Buy a new
drive.
knee.
You don't do anything.
I'll buy a new knee, Indy, please.
You need more than a new knee. You need someone to lift for you to be relevant.
A person. By a
Yeah,
person.
you need a
strong
person.
Right, moving on.
Are you going for a 232 again, or you guys are aiming higher than the 232 kilo squat?
We're aiming higher because it has to be to blow that record.
Interesting, very, very interesting. So again, the world record on the bench, we can't talk about it. As we said, your bench has just been fixed now. So let's leave the world record. So let's not talk about that. So let's just give shout out to Agatha leaving that world record.
Sad to my bench. You don't want to talk about my bench, sad.
We never talk about bench in this chat. Pointless. Who's are you gonna talk to? Sorry, going off sorry, you mentioned Agatha now, and I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
How do you feel, and how do you think it's going to change your approach and just everything in general? Like last year, you were going in, there was 2 people in your weight cat, you are gonna have a battle. It gives it, I don't know, a little bit of oomph or something. I need to prove people wrong. People keep talking about fucking flights, whereas this time now it's proven. You've done it twice. There's no questions. There's no lifters there. It's you against the total. Does that change things? Are you approaching things a bit more differently because of that front? And how does it change your mentality?
Yeah, it is so different. It's like complete opposite. So, as you said, going from everyone was anticipating that battle, and now it's the 69 battle, and now I get to fly under the radar. And actually, I think it just provides some mental clarity. They don't need to take up any space. And all I need to do is worry about myself and pushing that 600 kilos further. So I'm quite happy about it. I'm like, cool, I just need to worry about myself. I got here flying under the radar, competing against imaginary people. And so now I get to do that again. And I'm really excited.
To me, has he put you in a position where at Sheffield, although of course you're competing against the rest of the women, but almost like you can pick your numbers, because last year, of course, you had Jessica and Agatha. So although that was for you to, as I said, mentioned being a show, but at the same time, it was Karlina had to make a point with these two other two women, because if these two women beat me, then the rest of the world will be all right to say, okay, I have not traveled, I have not been in a competition, and now I'm in a competition and I'm falling apart. Do you know what I mean? So almost like you and Dom have to go there, structure your attempt, not just winning Sheffield or placing as high as you can, but also making sure you beat these two women. So now going to this Sheffield by yourself, there's no that pressure. Even if they came with you, still you annihilated them a world. You beat them a world. You beat them at Sheffield. So that's gone. So now leading to this Sheffield, is this something you're thinking to yourself, okay, you have yourself to pick your numbers that will make you even more dangerous as you're competing alone?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, it's that freedom, you get that freedom to just throw whatever on the bar. And I know that Dom will take full advantage of doing that. That's his favorite thing to do. And and I can't wait. Like, I'm just gonna lift whatever is put on the bar, and that has to be, into the 620s, past that. That would be good.
Say it again. That's a standby there. What did you say? 6 what?
Into the 620s or past that.
Espen, did you hear that right? 620.
So what are we doing next, boys?
That? No, I'm not. No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
Oh, this is. I was looking the world record, which is of course until Malta or until Sheffield happened last year. That world record at 76 was the biggest pull in the ladies. This 201.5 kilo by Jessica, that was the biggest pull ever, right? And it's something that you are looking to break. And if you break that, you can potentially push that number to be the biggest pull by anyone that ever pulled. Because at the moment, the biggest pull is Amanda Lawrence 268.5. That's the biggest, right? Yeah. Something you're looking to get as an accolade as well? Or is it something you're just thinking, no, I'm just going to break it about 0.5 kilo is fine?
At this competition, definitely a 0.5 kilo, that's fine. But we'll see. There's Natalie now. There's bloody Natalie in Australia. She's going to push that. She's going to do probably 280 soon. So that's going to make it very hard. But if it comes like a sort of like a YOLO, an official one, or even, I don't know, international one where I could do it as an 84, then I would do that. But I think it's going to be broken before then.
Do you not have like another international that you can do? So like we have Euros, America have like Westerns, or like Canada has Westerns, and
nothing close. There's like that Commonwealth, but I think the next time it happens is in South Africa. There used to be Oceanias, but there hasn't been for a long time. So it doesn't seem like I'll get that chance, but that would have been cool before.
That's pretty savage. I say it's pretty savage. You have Worlds and Sheffield to break international records then, don't you?
Yeah.
That's difficult.
But again,
I say that's difficult. Like Euros, the standards at Euros is insane, and the speed's like good, and the flights are small. So it's not that it's easier at Euros; it's just that we get another stab at it.
I think. I can honestly say here, the European standards is way worse than.
Yeah, they're harsher than Worlds. Yeah,
way stricter than the IPS.
Yeah,
but we get another stab.
Yeah,
and then you can go to Arnold's. Do you know what I mean? You can go to Western.
Lots of opportunities.
Like, so yeah, that's a.
But the level and the way Karlina is moving and Evie, they can use World as a YOLO lifters. They can use the YOLO lift a world. Because
you're putting words into Karlina's mouth.
I mean, Karlina. Jokes aside, when the next World Championship, where is it? Is it in Lithuania?
Lithuania.
Coming to Lithuania, You know, the 76, when you look across the 76, well, my question, let me just ask. In the 76 in your weight class, which is that you are the dominant, the top tier there in that weight class, I'm sure you probably look around the world thinking, who else is coming? Is there something that's crossed your mind thinking who's, because in powerlifting anyone can come out from nowhere, don't get me wrong, but the names that in the 76 around the world, when you look at them, is this something is coming across your mind thinking, oh, I better watch out for that person? Is it really?
Yeah. Well, in my mind, there's still Jason Agatha. They're gonna be back there at Worlds, I think. So I'm not feeling like they're not there. I still feel very much that they are my competitors. So I don't feel like I'm, you know,
I
alone
don't know
here on the
about
top
Agatha
of
though.
that perch.
But what about if
if Agatha does well at 69, for example, she beats the other two ladies, she feels confident, she's not coming back.
You just need to see how it like interferes with her life in general, like being that body weight, because it can be good like training wise, competition wise, but if it's affecting her on a day to day, like, you know, obviously coming from someone that dropped a whole weight class and only survived like for about 5 months, it took a lot, like in terms of not being able to go to certain dinners, like going out, nights out and stuff like that, because you have to be very selective on like what calories can go in you, which was pretty much nothing. Like, so in her situation, we don't know how many calories she's on, how many calories she can have on a day to day. Training wise, it could work for her, but it might. I don't know how miserable she is right now.
Yeah, but
how,
she's remember, okay, she's like, she's got a lot of muscle to feed as well. Like she's built. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you, on the other hand, you know, you built like this. So like,
I was trying to be so
no, but
serious as
genuinely,
well.
no, I'm being serious though. Like you're tall and like, so your calories are going to be relatively. Yeah, but you know, you're like you're slimmer, so relatively your calories are going to be lower than what hers are, I think.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, yeah, fair play.
I mean, again, Karlina, I know you said about there is Agatha and Jess, but if we remove the Agatha and Jess entity away from the 76, who else is out there that your eyes on thinking this person might come in and it might give me a long day? Because the reason I'm asking this, because again, you Sheffield lifters have made the World Championship your qualifying platform, right? So I'm sure all of you are looking out there in your respective weight class thinking, let me cast my eyes around and see who's coming. Who's going to give me that shit? You know, is that
Karlina's like,
I'm not. No, I'm not looking. I'm not thinking. I'm sure if somebody pops up, someone will send it to me, and then I'll be like, "Oh, 560, great." I'm kidding.
Nah, come on, that's a soundbite right there. Oh shit!
But that's
some
my
shots,
goal, right? Like that's my goal of training, is to make sure that nobody is within reach of me, and that's how we train. Is that so that when I turn up, I know that my bad day is like the best you could ever dream.
Is there anything from your last experience at Sheffield's?
Hold on, before you ask, did that register what she just said?
What?
She just said her bad day is the best any of our competitors could ever dream.
Yeah, I know. She's firing shots for everyone. Everyone.
Firing
shots at you, Espin? Bro, what do you mean everyone? She's literally firing shots at you as well.
What's your question?
I was gonna say, is there anything from the last Sheffields, like in your experience from the last one, anything that you didn't do or you did incorrectly that you wanna, you know, correct this one coming forward in 2024? It could be anything as well. It could be it doesn't have to be just anything.
I was thinking of like on the actual day. Well, the prep, like travel, all of that was all good. I think this time I'm not going to do as much walking, because the first time I was like, London, and we were walking around doing like 20, 30K steps a day. And so I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just going to chill. And then, you know, squat a third attempt that's really smooth and undeniable. And try the one issue with Sheffield that I found was it was really long. It was so long and I was tired. and like energy was just not good. Like by the time I was deadlift, I was like ready to go to sleep. It was so long. So I've been thinking a lot about how to manage energy levels, keep them stable, and have them peak later in the competition. So that's something that I'm thinking about a lot. Because World was fast.
Oh, you're going on.
Yeah, World was fast, and that was perfect. Like energy was great the whole time. So
I mean, you're wrong.
I need to.
But okay.
Yeah, well, it worked out for me. Yeah, definitely not for the
people like you are the reason why we're dying. Okay.
I was worried. Like I felt like I was dying, but it clearly worked out. So that's what changed my mind. But anyway, I need to make sure that my energy levels remain stable for the whole 4.5 hours, maybe.
Because Mo said that exact same thing. He said that he was very energized and everything, but he thinks it's because of the excitement and the adrenaline from
but that's because of the way Mo lifts. I've never seen someone get that excited on an opening bench before. No, like, and I know I'm gonna sound like a fucking proper cunt here. I am, but he got so hyped on that second bench. Like, you need to maintain your fucking own hype. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it needs to be like reserved for the moments that matter. In a longer meet like that, like at Worlds, you can get hyped for your third, your second, your third, your second, your third, your second, your third, and it's not too much. Whereas I think if you do it here at Sheffield, you're just going to be burnt out. You can't be there fucking sat at the back screaming at walls.
Yeah. Even like with how much stimulation you get from that opener and just being there and seeing the crowd, like I'm not even sure you need caffeine for squat, honestly. Like it's just so insane. So like I'm even thinking about that. Like, do I even need caffeine for squats? Because that crowd is pretty insane, and you're just shaking and like jittering, knowing that the crowd is there.
I'd have it just for bands. Just take it anyway. Double scoop that pre, Karlina. Just don't use, what is it? Psycho Dark Side. What was it?
Oh no.
What are you talking about?
Too soon? Too soon?
Don't use that Dark Side pre, otherwise you're good.
What's the story here? But anyway, let's carry on. Carry on the story in the private. Karlina, you mentioned about the crowd literally feeding. So again, I think this is one of the things I just want to draw out of you. How much did you get from that crowd in Sheffield? Because a lot of people, when we mention, every time me, Indy, except Espin, me, Indy, when we talk about Sheffield, because we were there as spectators, sometimes
you should be.
cannot describe to people. We can't describe it to people, and because even if we do, some people don't really believe. Especially now, we both SBD athlete. They just think, yeah, you're just talking because it's your brand. Do you know what I mean? But can you just like explain to our viewers, our listeners and viewers, like how much as an athlete did you get from that crowd?
And to add on to that, what would you say to people like Espin who didn't turn up last time?
Man, the crowd, the energy was like palpable. Like you could feel the energy. You could see things, you could hear things, but it was it felt like it was the thing that was like pumping your heart. Like that's what it felt like. Like you could feel it. And then to go like my third squat, that I think everyone thought I was going to stop, but the crowd had to have something to do with that because I've never grinded a squat like that in my entire life, like not in training, not anywhere. And so I do think that had a part to play in being able to stand up with that. And then, so if I wasn't, well, we live very far away, but you have to be there. Like you have to experience it in person. It's like going to a huge concert of your like favorite all-time singer or whatever, but you're doing it for a sport that you're involved in, and it feels the same at the same level. It's so cool.
So is it people like Espin need to turn up this year?
Oh, you have to. Like if you haven't even got your ticket, but you're within like train ride? What are you doing?
There's people
Like, you
coming from
need
other
to get your
countries,
ticket.
and then there's sausages like S being sat at home.
I'm
Sure.
coming. I'm gonna be there.
Oh,
Are you?
awesome.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, they're gonna use him as a deadlift jack.
So in terms of like, again, I think Sheffield and Karlina, of course, it's a numbers game in terms of like, you're not just competing against. I mean, I can't even talk about the 76 because no one is available. Everyone have run away from you, so that's not really fair, Karlina. Thank God, that's not good. But anyway, talking about Sheffield itself, you're going there to compete against the rest of the women in the world, right? And
she's not just going. She's going there to collect free fucking checks.
yeah,
That's what she's going.
you go three checks.
No, 4 checks.
4 checks, 4. The overall
4 checks.
Four checks, yeah.
and
So
3 checks. So that's 4 checks. Jesus Christ, Karlina. You know what? We're your friends, Karlina. After Sheffield, please, the bill is on you. But anyway, talking about
You're a bunch of beggars, you lot are. I don't even want to know what she spends it on. You're asking for money. You know who your friends are.
I mean, you're going there to compete against the
Juris
rest.
has a pen and pen. Don't forget that.
Yeah, you compete against the rest of the women. The world record we're talking about here. I just want to get a little bit of clarity here in terms of like winning Sheffield. As much as you're saying blowing the 676, how much of blow are we talking here? Because to win, you need a considerable amount of kilos on that total.
She said what she's aiming for.
She said she was 620, right?
Mm.
Yeah, 620 plus.
Yeah, 20s. In
Okay.
the 620s, so it could be up to 630.
So 620 is a minimum.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Putting people on notice.
Okay. Now, what message are you sending to the rest of the ladies that are coming to Sheffield? Are they just coming for the SPD package media, or they coming for the pictures with their favorite fans or sign on belt? Is that
the free limousine ride from the venue?
The car is changing. What's it going to be next year or next week? No, look, I'm so impressed with this year's roster on the women's side. Every time I think about who's going to be on the podium, I have like this list of so many women that it could be, but obviously there's only 3 spots. I'm not feeling any salty type of way against any of them. It's just like, bring your best. Like, we're all going to bring our best. And I have no idea who's going to be on the podium, because I feel like over half of us, well over half of us, have the potential to be on the podium. But I will be biased and say that I really hope the podium is made up of the middle to heavyweight classes this year.
so? So what are the names on those that hope of yours? You're hoping the names. It's a safe place here.
I mean, I think there's definitely going to be an 84 plus there, based off what they did at Worlds.
Yeah.
And the 69, with how low that record is, see, already you've got 5 people, and you're like, how does that happen? The 57s, and then the 52s, because it looks like Evie can push that record a lot. There was a time where
Karlina,
thought,
you've just named every weight cut.
Except
exactly.
We're like, who wants to be on the
This is what I
podium?
mean.
She's like, yes.
So
yes.
No, we gotta be
Me
savage.
and
We gotta be
everyone else.
savage now. Okay. Name 3 lifters for podium. That's the way we gotta do it. Otherwise, you're just gonna say
Yeah.
everyone.
might even say me.
Everyone.
No,
No
we don't go
hate.
that far.
Oh my God, it's so hard. Can I not do like 1, 2, 3? Can I just do 3 and then see where it
Yeah,
goes up?
yeah, we'll allow that. We'll allow that.
Oh, phew. If I do what I do, I'm on it. If I do what I have to do, I'm on it. Other 2.
Who's second and third?
I'm not doing
I like the way
I'm
you
not
did that.
doing
Yeah.
first, second, third.
No,
Okay.
you can't try and outthink a
then-
doctor. She's not Jurins.
bro, Jesus. How are you gonna call it?
And then I think, it's so bloody hard. Like a Brittany, and I can't pick a 69. I honestly don't know. But It's either a 69 or a 57. I don't know. It's too hard, and that's why this year is amazing.
No, you can't. No,
because
you're not
it's like-
skipping this. You're not
You can't
skipping
skip
this.
that. You can't skip that.
So you, Brittany, and then one other.
One more.
Oh my God. No, I can't. I actually can't. I
Pete
can't.
Spence.
So
Yeah.
you,
No, you got a name. You got to do it. It's too
Karlina,
late
you're
now.
telling me. So what you're saying to us, you don't have that much belief that third person can be Evie.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that I have a lot of belief that it could be anyone.
No. I'm talking about your teammate, Evie. That's it.
Oh.
You know?
You got to name a
Well,
third.
You got to name
I
a
feel
third.
like it's Frozen. No.
There's no Frozen.
Try this,
I'm
nerd.
really bad. I'm not. You're not gonna get one out of me. I can't.
You have to
I
do a
don't
third.
know.
Just name someone. Name someone. Name if it's not who you think, who you'd like it to be.
That's worse.
That's why I said it, because I was like, this could be a good south.
That's worse. That's
Right,
worse. You're not gonna
so,
catch me. These ladies, I love them more. I don't want to pick. I don't want to.
So you're saying none of them are strong enough to be third?
Be third.
I'm saying all of them. No, really, what I'm saying is all of them are strong enough to be on the podium. That's
No, that's
really
not what I
I'm saying.
heard. That's not what we heard.
Well,
If you're not
Karlina,
naming a
To be
third,
fair, all I got from that is that she's coming first and that's it.
that's it. Yeah,
and then she's coming first.
yeah. She doesn't care about anyone else. She's coming first, and then the rest they can turn
Brittany's
up.
coming second. The
Okay.
third, she can't even name Evie as a teammate. Doesn't have much.
You're such a
Reminder.
shit stirrer.
Come in.
I wasn't putting first or second or anything. And nah, I reject all my choices. I pick everybody.
Even though
No,
she's
no, that's gay. No,
even though
you ain't
she's
doing that.
bad.
No.
But we're so good.
Boys,
The women are so bloody good. That's
Oh,
the issue.
so basically, what
You could
Karlina's saying is the
probably
men are shit.
I was just about to not say that exactly, but I was going to say you could probably pick one for the men.
All right, do your top three for the men's.
Well, keep in mind, I probably don't know everyone who's going for the men's, but off the top of my head,
During?
Keiko will be on
Oh,
it.
he's not going.
Keiko will definitely be on it.
yeah.
And it might be the same as, there'll be some 74s. That's the weight class, right? There'll be 74s. I don't know which one.
Even your
And
team,
probably,
your teammate team, you don't. So you really don't trust your Kiwis, your brothers and sisters. You don't
She's a
trust.
fake Kiwi. She's basically Australian.
You know what? You
I'm Tongan.
exactly. So your tongue, Evie. You see, I'm sorry, guys. If you guys were Tongan, she would have just named you guys. So she can't name any.
No,
So
I'm thinking about it's a compliment actually because she already pushed her world record, and I'm thinking about how much you can push it further.
She
480.
hit it. She hit it without hitting a third deadlift and came out and shook hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're lucky
But
she shook
we need-
hands and not through hands.
yeah. I'm just gonna stop digging myself a hole. That's
Yeah.
deeper.
So there's only two women and one man. One of the men's women.
No. Can we cut all of this out? I'm butchering this section. But what I read, so last year, if you got 5%, then you were pretty safe. Like you're very safe. I just don't think that might be the case this year, depending on how people go. Like if everybody has their perfect day, it sounds like that 5% is too low.
So basically, what you're saying, the winning of Sheffield in terms of the placing this year, the percentage will be higher than last year.
Yeah,
Even though
because some of them,
those world records, some of them are very high. You still
yeah,
believe?
but
Go on.
the 69s is not high compared to their strength.
The 69 is the only world record. I mean, ladies, forgive me on this one. Out of all the world record, the 69 is the weakest. Right, that's the weakest world, and that world record will be pushed very, very highly. And to me, if you ask me,
Exactly.
you coming in saying you total like 620, 630, that's changed my pick. But if you can hit at 620 to 630, then of course Karlina will be on the platform or on that podium. But if the 69 are hidden numbers they're talking about, the winner might be coming from the 69 because that world record is very weak.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like their current strength levels is probably more than 5%, like well above 5% for that low world record. And you've got 3 of them, and there's 3 spots on a podium.
You pick one there in those 3 that you think will literally just come on top. You know, let's think about experience. Let's think about strength. Let's think about recovery. Let's think about the past history as well. In terms of these 3, if you put them in front of you, who would you pick?
If I am a very
gun to your head. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, they're all lovely and fantastic.
Damn. My heart is racing so much.
I'm sure you have a name, but you're thinking if I say this name, the other person will say, why not me? Do you know what I mean? And the other person me. Right?
Yeah, but opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has one.
So I think this podcast, we're the only podcast that the place is safe. You're actually safe to say it.
What do you mean the place is safe?
No, it's not. It's not actually. No, look, it's like I think it's between Leah and Agatha, and it depends who has the day she wants.
Cool. So Leah and Agatha. So Karlina does not believe in Carola, so I'll ask Carola the same question about when she comes.
So safe. Such a safe space. I'm so glad you made me feel safe.
So in your head, then, 3rd place is gonna be
Leah or Agatha.
One of them.
Yeah.
Or if there's Natalie, who like also took the first at Worlds and had a pretty cruisy day.
Natalie's looking fucking strong.
Yeah.
Looking really strong, very, very strong. It'll be interesting. So again, Karlina, of course, Chef is coming. I mean, you're prepping. We spoke about what you might be hitting there and all the numbers and all of that. So do you think is one of the my last few question to you is, if you push that world record to 6:20, 6:30 coming this Sheffield, do you think is something that you shot yourself in the leg there in terms of like the other Sheffields that might be coming in the future? Because I mean, I kid you not, you push a world record at 6:20, 6:30 as a 76. For you to push that world record at 6:40, 6:50 is unthinkable.
But that's the whole point. The thing is, like, what do you do then? Do you think about next Sheffield and ignore this one? Because that's the only way to do it like that.
Yeah. I just ignore the next one. Like, this is happening now. I'm strong now. I'm gonna do everything I can at this competition, and then I'll just deal with the consequences later.
So get your 45 bags and chill.
Yeah.
True.
Buy some more trips to Italy. Go up to 84. No, kidding.
That's what I want to hear.
I mean, my last question to you, Karlina, is in terms of like SBD. All right, this is the SBD question. This is not a stoic question. This is an SBD question. The reason I mentioned it because I know Karlina is one of those athletes on our planet that is sponsored by Stoic and SBD. So congratulations.
Oh no, virus.
Virus. Correct me right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, in terms of like the brand SBD, what they're doing for the sport and Sheffield, especially around Sheffield, all the resources they're pushing there for the athletes and the spectators. If there was 2 things that you could ask them to change, or another 2 things you could ask them to bring in, what would these things be?
Ooh,
Don't say cheerleaders.
Other sports people, like inviting other well-known sports people to come in and experience it and then share it through their platforms so that other eyes get on powerlifting. I thought they might do that the first time, but now I definitely think that would be a good idea. Is just bringing well-known sports people, inviting them to come and watch.
Mhm.
That would be one thing. And then a second, and I'm sure they've already fixed this, but it's just organizing a better way to get drug tested afterwards, because it delayed us going to meet people in the VIP section. So, some of us didn't get down there till an hour later because of the drug testing, because every single one of us got drug tested. So sort of, I'm sure they've already figured that out, because that was kind of I don't think they liked that happened either. So those two things I would think.
They might just push the meet and greet back instead of having it directly after, have it delayed. That would be the smartest way, because I don't know how they do the drug testing otherwise.
So
yeah.
two things you said: bring the other people from other sports to come in, and of course a drug testing scenario. So what about the other two things that I spoke about, that the one that you didn't like at all?
Oh, but that drug testing thing was one of the main ones, honestly, because I felt so late to the party when it happened. Yeah, it was just so bloody good, honestly. Like Pete has already said a few months ago that the improvements they've made, like that he can't wait until we experience it, because it's going to be way better. And in my mind, I can't even fathom what those things might be, because I'm like, it was already so really so good. What more are we going to experience when we get there? But really, it was just that VIP meet thing. And that's about, getting down soon enough to meet people who have paid to come and spend time with you.
Yeah. I mean, my last one before Indy, before you go for yours, if you go a few, my last question is just like, in terms of like powerlifting in general, like, we are all RPF here, and there's a lot of trend has been going on in social media, and a lot of things going on around in terms of what people are claiming to be or what people are claiming to do. So my question leading to that, Karlina, is what are two things you would like people to live in 2024, 2023? And the other two things you want to see a bit more for it to be done in 2024. Two for people to leave behind. Two things to leave behind in 2023. Don't do it again. Fuck off. And two things, do more of this in 2024.
Leave a powerlifting podcast behind, and can you imagine? That'd be the funniest shit. If you asked me that as a guest, I'd say that. I'd be a cunt.
Go on, Karlina.
I'm trying to. What things did I not like? Well, what to do more of? Maybe we'll start with that. Do more of
More international comps in New Zealand.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Or in like that within at least 12 hours, not 31 hours travel. That would be nice. Yeah, more international opportunities on the oceanic side of things. A world pitch on this side of the world. Let's do more of that. Let's have a world championship on this side of the world. That would be bloody awesome. I reckon push for that. And leave behind. I don't know. I can't think of any negative things at the moment.
How about, let me give you one. How about everybody that pick up a barbell call themselves coaches?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, leave that behind. Leave that behind. Doing one competition and then becoming a coach.
That's one. Now I gave you one. You found one.
Oh. Oh.
People not picking top three.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good one.
I empathize with those people. That's all right.
I
That's
don't.
all right.
I have zero empathy for anyone.
Okay, cool. Indy, what's your answer before we close up?
Two questions. And I like to ask these because it's just nice to ask these. One is, if you could give a younger you a piece of advice, what would it be? And if you could give like up and coming powerlifters a piece of advice, what would it be?
Okay. For up and coming powerlifters, what I would think is my advice would be is that just stay consistent and hang in there because things don't happen overnight. They don't happen in your first year, and they actually don't happen within a couple of years. The first few years of powerlifting is really nice where you're constantly making progress, but it's kind of after that that you start to learn how your body works, how it responds to things, how to deal with pain, like we were talking about, and how to make sure you're on top of all your externals, or as much of it as you can. That stuff is real key to being successful, but it takes a while to learn it, and you make lots of mistakes and you learn from them, and that stuff takes time. So just hang in there. You're young. I'm 31, and so you've got lots of time. Just be patient and consistent.
Indy, is this the first podcast we've done that all of us, our age start with 3? Is it not the first one? Carry on.
Probably. We're all in
With my
our 30s.
people.
It's good, isn't it? And we all hold world records. Oh, not endurance. Joking, I'm joking. I have to throw that in there. It's the only thing I got on you, man. Fuck off, endurance.
Go on, man. What's your last one?
No, the second one was sorry, go on.
Youngest, that's just general, is it?
Could be anything.
It could be anything. Oh gosh. Just believe in yourself. Undeniably, unshakably, learn a way to believe that it can be you. Make as well as realistic goals, set some unrealistic goals because I am currently living an unrealistic goal, and don't stop.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Cool. So basically what Karlina said, please guys, don't be Manchester United. All right?
Do you get that joke?
No.
No, I don't blame you, to be honest. Football shit.
Because they're really bad. If you end up performing like Manchester United are performing now in Sheffield, I don't know you. If you see me, just walk. Don't say hello. You know?
No, I don't want no negative. What?
Huh?
You did well.
No negativity. Come on.
But anyway, Karlina, it's been really great as always. When we have you in this podcast, we have really so much fun on this one. So I wish you luck in terms of the rest of the prep. There's only a few weeks left, and me and Indy, our ticket is already been reserved. So we're gonna be on Raw. My vuvuzela is ready, and I'm gonna be. Do you know what I mean?
I hope there's no vuvuzelas. I'll be honest with you.
I can't believe. When I say my vuvuzela is ready, I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna post my vuvuzela tomorrow on social media to show it to people that I go.
No. Is that better not be an innuendo?
I'm not gonna.
No one wants to see that, Jurins. Me and Karlina definitely don't want to see that, Jurins. No one does.
So it's just like I'm just excited to see. It's like again, last year Sheffield was amazing, and I think this year's it will be even better because you guys are better lifters and you're stronger lifters. The numbers we spoke about, we covered in this podcast today, is a number that if you told me 3 years ago that a 76 kilo will be hitting these numbers, I would tell you like, are you fucking kidding? You know what I mean?
Don't test that, man.
I'll bet my heart. So, but it's happened. These are the numbers some of the men can't even hit. And we're talking about you hitting these numbers. I'm not talking about Joey, by the way. But anyway, and love Joey.
You're savage, you are. Leave me alone.
Moving on. For our listeners, if you have any message or a comment for Karlina, please reach out to Karlina on Instagram. Drop her a message or drop her a comment on our post. Ask the question, she will answer. And she's a doctor. You know, I will emphasize.
There we go. You're going to get prescriptions
so
now. As people ask
medical questions.
No medical questions.
No, when I said she's a doctor, basically, she understands the human body better than anybody else, right? If you got an injury or thinking, how Karlina does this with injuries, go and ask Karlina this question. If Karlina does not answer, come to us. Me and Indy will find Karlina to answer these questions.
Blanket answer. Yeah. I'll give you a blanket answer. Physio, that's all.
Yeah, message Jurins. Jurins will be more than happy to answer on mine and Karlina's behalf.
I would do that.
Yeah.
On that note, guys, send a comment, and if you're wishing to participate or join us on this podcast, just drop us a message. This is a safe place. We're gonna welcome you. You come and talk shit with us. You know what I mean? Everything goes here. On that note, speak to you guys soon.